Welcome back to another Tier List Tuesday. My name is Birthroad, and today we're going to be looking at the greatest anime antagonist. Let's get started. So these have just been put in a random order here, but here we're going to start with Janemba. Personally, I like Janemba. I thought he was cool in the movie or whatever, but he is in the movie. He obviously is not canon. He doesn't serve much purpose to the story, but the movie was pretty good. I'm still going to put him in mid, though, because he doesn't really talk or anything that much, but his powers are cool and stuff, and the fights were really cool, right? But I think I'm going to have to put him in mid. Next, we have Sukuna. I think Sukuna is a good villain. I don't think he's a top tier villain just because the top tier villains they're just insanely good. I'm not going to lie. He is still amazing, but yeah, I just don't know if I could quite put him in best. He might get bumped up later. I'm not sure. But with that being said, what would be best for you guys is if you enjoy these type of videos or enjoy any anime content, please hit the subscribe button. Most of you guys that watch these videos are not subscribed, and it could help me out a lot. But let's continue. Next, we have Blackbeard. So far, I'm going to put Blackbeard in bad, and I don't think he's going to finish there. But Blackbeard hasn't really done anything in the anime, and was introduced what, episode like 200. It's been almost 1,000 episodes, and Blackbeard has not really done too much in terms of antagonizing, I guess. Like, yeah, he got ace capture or whatever, he took Whitebeard's fruit, but like I feel like we're yet to see what he really has coming, and we don't even really know his like full personality or anything like that, his goals, everything. Like, we don't know everything about him, so that's why I'm gonna have him in bad. There's just too much mystery surrounding Blackbeard, and I think not enough has happened yet. Next, we have Rize. I think Rize is good. The movie was very good. It's similar to Janemba, but Rize had a way bigger role. Also, it's canon to the story, so it's, a little bit different from Janemba. I think Rize is arguably the best character in the Chainsaw Man anime so far. I'm not talking about the manga. But anime-wise, I think Rize is absolutely one of the best characters in Chainsaw Man. I think she is fantastic, but Chainsaw Man is still early on, and of course Rize is just in a short part of it, so many of this can change, but as of now I think I'm just going to have her in good. She's not quite as good as Sukuna, but still an amazing villain. Next, we have Akutagawa. I like Akutagawa, but I think he suffers from the same issue that Atsushi suffers from, and it's that yes, they are good characters, but they get outshined by everybody. Like, even villain-wise, Fyodor, way cooler than Akutagawa. Chuya, way cooler than Akutagawa. Now, I know the whole point of Akutagawa and Atsushi are kind of like they're new to this or whatever, and they're trying to get the approval of other people, blah, 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 this, and that. But as of right now, Akutagawa is kind of mid. Yes, he's cool personality-wise and everything like that, but he's similar to Atsushi, just getting outshined by everybody, so I don't think I can move him much higher. By the way, guys, I know some people are going to get angry because it always happens when talking about opinionated stuff. Mid doesn't mean bad. That's why there's a bad tier, if that makes sense. People nowadays have confused the words mid and bad. Mid is genuinely mid. He's like mid. Next, we have Diego. Now, this has been animated. Diego has been animated only episode 1. Yes, I will be heading to Netflix to get episode 2 dropped. Because I know those comments are coming. They always come. But Diego, I would say he is a top tier villain. Now, I know everything hasn't been animated yet, but I can't just sit here and, I have the knowledge on it. So if you guys don't want to count it, if you want to go off of, the anime, we're going to put him in worse because he hasn't done anything. But towards the end, he will be a top tier antagonist for sure. I love Diego. I honestly think he's the best antagonist, or potentially he's top 2 antagonist in all of JoJo's. So yeah, for him to be in the best tier makes total sense. Next, we have Kisame. Honestly, I like Kisame. I think he's good. I don't think he's as impactful as someone like Rize, but he's in the story a lot. He's got a lot of personality. He's got unique abilities. He has good fights. I think it's pretty simple to just put Kisame in good. I mean, I don't think I need to say much else. Next, we have Orochimaru. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to put him in mid, and I'm going to put him at the bottom of mid. Yes, he's important to the story. Yes, he's in a lot of fights. But I feel like his powers are very lame. Well, the thing about Orochimaru is he's viewed as an antagonist because he is, but at the same time, he's really not. His whole goal is just learn every jutsu. Like, if he doesn't have to hurt anybody, he's not going to, if that makes sense, right? So it's like, kind of gets convoluted, I guess, if he's really an antagonist. I mean, he is, he does bad things, but to me, he's, I don't want to say kind of lame, but he's just a science nerd. Like, that's all. He just wants to learn everything. And then, so to me, it's kind of lame. I'm not going to lie. A lot of stuff Orochimaru does, I'm not the biggest fan of. I think sometimes he can be a little bit of a geek. And yeah, I just don't really care for that. So that's why I'm going to put him in mid. Next, we have Shigaraki. I think Shigaraki, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna put him in mid. I'm gonna put him at the top of mid. Now, people get mad at this all the time, but to me, Shigaraki, yeah, he's decent, but like, he had no choice but to be a villain. So I can't feel bad for him. There's not a whole lot of depth to him. Like, oh, his power is what? I forgot what it's exactly. Decay or whatever, right? Oh, my power is to make things decay when I touch it. Dude, he was just going to be a villain no matter what. Like, I don't feel bad for him. Like, there's no real connection made there, and his personality's not great or anything. Yes, his fights are good. Yes, he looks cool. Yes, his power is cool. But there's just not much to him. Like, in a show that actually has, like, quite a lot of good characters and character development, Shigaraki does not have that, I'll be honest. He was... Sure, you could say, oh, well, he was manipulated by All For One or whatever. He was going to be a villain no matter what. You just cannot be good with the power he has. So I just think his, like, whole abilities and everything end up being kind of boring when it comes to the story. Next, we have Fyodor. He's going to go in top tier and best. I'm going to put him above Diego. I think Fyodor is amazing. He is... You know, it's one of those mental-like villains, right? Because Fyodor, we don't even know what his power is yet in terms of the anime, but he is every time Fyodor is on the screen, you know it's going to be a banger of an episode, and every episode with him in it is amazing. It is genuinely peak. The Fyodor stuff is awesome. Next, we have Toguro. Toguro is going to go in the top tier as well. I'm going to put him behind Diego, though, but Toguro, absolutely love him. You know, he really made Yu Yu Hakusho kind of what it is. I mean, I enjoy all of it, don't get me wrong, but, you know, if you ever watch a Yu Yu Hakusho, if you ever heard of it, the number one thing that always gets talked about is the Dark Tournament, and the main villain of the Dark Tournament is Toguro. He is fantastic. The Dark Tournament is fantastic. It is a big... he's a big part of the inspiration for all these tournament arcs that happen in anime. Like, a big part of that was Yu Yu Hakusho, and Toguro was arguably the biggest part of that. Yes, Hiei, Yusuke, Kuwabara, Kurama, all of them were cool, but Toguro, I think, pulled a lot of the weight there. It was pretty awesome, and he's amazing. Next, we have Boros. I mean, he's going to go into bad. He's not, like, one of the worst antagonists I've seen, but really all he does is, like, alien coming down to Earth. Saitama fights him. Saitama wins. Just not really anything that cool about Boros, I'll be honest. Next, we have Toji. Now, I love Toji, and I'm going to put him in good. But I'm going to put him at the bottom of good because, realistically, he could go mid. But Toji's just got a great character. He has a lot of shock moments. He's got a lot of aura moments. He's just a cool dude, bro. I'll be honest. That's why. I mean, he's a piece of shit, but he's a cool dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's just a very cool, unique character. Nice to see, especially in the world he's in. Like, nobody else is really like him. So, yeah, I think that's why I'm going to put him in good. I feel like he's a breath of fresh air in JJK. It's very good. I wish he was in it more. That's the only reason he's not higher, because he's really not in it that much, which obviously makes sense. I mean, he's dead when the story starts. But, yeah, very good. I like Toji. Great character. Next, we have Meruem. He's going to go up in the best tier. I mean, this guy is a fantastic villain from start to finish. There's a reason Chimera Ant is regarded as one of the greatest anime arcs of all time, because Meruem is a fantastic antagonist. Now, I'm not going to put him any higher just because, for me, I feel like Meruem's build-up wasn't as good as the other three. Like, the other three get built up from the start. I feel like Meruem immediately is strong off the rip. You know what you're getting to. Meruem actually, I don't want to say gets built down, but, like, he kind of loses the intimidation as you go along, right? Which I think is a good thing. I think that makes his character fantastic. I just prefer the other three more. I like them being built up rather than starting up, if that makes sense. So, yeah, I mean, you could argue Toguro is like kind of the same as Meruem, but I just prefer Toguro, I'll be honest. Next, we have Kakuzu. I think definitely overhated, but I would put him in mid. I'd put him behind Octagawa. I don't really think he's that bad. I think it's cool. You know, he's got a good history, which I think helps him out a lot. People hate his power. I personally don't mind it. To me, it's just a character that, you know, I'm not really for or against, but I do like some of his backstory elements are pretty cool, and I like that he's all about the money. So, yeah, that's why I'd put him in mid instead of, like, bad. Next, we have Akainu. I'm going to be honest, I'm not a fan of Akainu at all. I'm going to put him in bad as well. Now, he has done stuff in the story, unlike Blackbeard. Like, I put Blackbeard in bad just because we don't know enough yet. Akainu, I know enough to have an opinion on him, and honestly, I just don't really like him. Yes, he killed Ace. Ace is an idiot. I don't like Ace anyway, but I feel like, to me, he's just a pussy. Like, oh, I'm gonna sit my ass in this office. And then him getting Fleet Admiral is just because he rolled the type advantage on fucking Aokiji, bro. Aokiji has ice and you have magma. Like, no shit, you're gonna win. If you lost, it would have been embarrassing. And the fact that it took days for you to win is already embarrassing. You got that big scar on you is embarrassing. Like, to me, he's a fraud. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Aki. You know, also, all of his feats from what we have seen have just been either sneak attacks, sucker punches, or just fighting people that just are not as strong as him. He has yet to take on a challenge. To me, I do not enjoy him at all. I think his attitude sucks, and, you know, like the meme always says, that boy Zoro can cut magma, I'm gonna sit my ass in this office. And that's all he does. He's sat in the office ever since becoming Fleet Admiral. This boy does not get active. Even the elders have been sent out, and he's just sitting his ass in the office. So, to me, bad. I'm not a big fan of him. I don't think he's one of the worst, though. Next, we have King. I actually like King, but King is just in such a short part, and the backstory and everything is so short. I'm going to put him at the bottom of good. But I thought he was a pretty good villain. I do think a big reason he doesn't go higher, at least in the good tier, is because a lot of the stuff they gave him just seems like, oh, just so he could fight Zoro. Oh, this guy that can turn into a dinosaur that can fly and has fire and the super strength, let's just give him a sword. Why? Like, it genuinely makes no sense for him to have a sword. That's one thing I don't like about King. He has a sword just to fight Zoro. That is the only reason he has one, because there's no reason for him to have a sword. But I think his lore is cool, his fights are cool and everything like that. He's just not in the show quite long enough, but he's a pretty good antagonist. Next we have Aokiji. Honestly, I'm going to put Aokiji in the best tier, but I'm going to put him at the end. He's a reoccurring antagonist, and he has importance to every part of the story he's in. He doesn't just show up to do something. He is in so many of the backstories. All of his fights are amazing. He has that mystery about him like Blackbeard does, but he also has that part of him that is resolved, that we do know about, that we have his backstory. We have not his goal per se, but we have things that he has done, whereas Blackbeard's like almost all mystery still. Aokiji's like half and half. There's part of him that's like, man, we have no idea, and then you see parts of him, it's like, wow, that is freaking awesome. And I think he's funny too. He's a great character, great design. I love his power as well. So for him to be in best, for me, isn't really shocking. I get why people maybe wouldn't like him as much, but I still think he's at least good, but I'm going to put him in best, definitely with some heavy bias. Next, we have Arlong. I'll be honest, Arlong's bad as well, and I'm going to put him under. Actually, I want to put him in worst, because compared to all the other One Piece villains, he should be in worst, but compared to all villains, he's definitely not. Because he was still cool getting introduced at first, but this guy was supposed to be a warlord. This guy was supposed to be like one of the strongest fishermen that we later found out. Like, he was with Fisher Tiger and them, right? Like, he was supposed to be strong. He is so weak. He lost. It was so embarrassing. Like, it's just crazy. It's crazy to put into scale, like, how much of a fraud he was. And being a fraud doesn't necessarily make you a bad character, but it's not like Arlong was over here having, like, the greatest personality ever, you know? It's not like he's really, like, a popular character for a reason, you know? He doesn't have much to him character-wise. And then to find out his power is so fraudulent, like he's not even strong at all, and he was just taking advantage of weaklings because he could. I mean, hell, he wasn't even in the Grand Line yet or anything. This motherfucker was in the East Blue terrorizing people, and he was a warlord. Like, that's embarrassing. Like, so that's why I'm going to put him in bad. But he was still cool when you first meet him. It's just the more and more you find out about him, the worse and worse you look at him. But I can't put him in worse because he was still good when he was there. Next, we have Madara. I'm going to put him at the top. I'm going to be honest, don't think anybody's going to pass Madara. To me, Madara is my favorite villain of all time. He's like my second favorite anime character of all time. Madara, to me, he just is everything you want a villain to be. He's manipulative, he's smart, he's strong, he has aura. There's nothing about him that's really pointless. His only downside, which I wouldn't even credit to him, I'd credit to Kaguya, is the way he loses, and that is stupid. That's the only thing about him, but not really the character's fault. I think the author genuinely wrote him way too strong. But he's everything I think you would want a villain to be. I feel like Fyodor is similar, but we don't know Fyodor's power and things like that. But yeah, Madara feels like a more complete version. Maybe not as smart and manipulative as Fyodor, but you don't necessarily need that. It's just having all the traits of a villain that you can makes you a better villain, and I think Madara has almost all of them. Next, we have Beru. He's going to go into bad. I'll be honest. I don't really care for Beru's personality at all or anything like that, and the only reason he's not going into worse because genuinely there's nothing to his character, almost like every character in Solo Leveling. I don't even think he has the aura, which is also what solo leveling is about. But his fight is decent, and that's about it. There's really nothing else I can say. His fight is decent, but at least he has something decent. There are some antagonists who are genuinely terrible, right? He is not one of them, but he's just not great. There's nothing really special about Beru. Next, we have Big Mom. I'm putting her in worse. I absolutely hate Big Mom. I don't like anything about her. And the only fights that she has that are good is the one fight between Kid and Law and her. And obviously that gets carried by Kid and Law. Her powers are lame. The way she uses them is lame. She's not really that strong. She's overhyped. Her backstory is terrible. Her family is terrible. Her island is terrible. Everything about her is terrible in my opinion. I just don't really care for Big Mom at all. I also think she is another person that is a big fraud, because I'm telling you, she's supposed to be on that tier with Kaido, Shanks, and them. And I'm telling you, Kid and Law are not taking out Kaido. They are not. And they handled Big Mom, and I think they could have handled her pretty easily if they decided to use their awakenings right away. But yeah, she got handled by those two. I don't think really any of the other emperors get handled by those two. Now, I love Kid and Law. They're two of my top 10 characters in the show, so I'm not saying this to slander them. I'm saying this to slander Big Mom because she sucks. I absolutely hate her. Next, we have Charon from Fire Force. I love Charon. I think he's very good. I can't put him in best because he's not even the main antagonist, but he is cool. I would honestly put him above Rize. I think every episode Charon is in is good. He's a very good antagonist. He's very cool, got a cool personality, cool powers, and everything like that. Good fights, really just everything you would want. Again, he's just not a main antagonist, so he doesn't really do like too much. I guess he's not too heavily involved in the story. The story doesn't revolve around him, basically, right? But he's in a good portion of it, so I think he's a good antagonist. Next, we have Chuya. I think Chuya is going to go into the best category, just above Aokiji. Chuya has so much aura, the movie as well, and then the season that's like practically half about him, where it reveals like his powers and his true identity and stuff. Like, he is a fantastic character, and he's one of a kind in Bungo. There's no one really like him in Bungo so far. I don't know what's going to happen, because obviously the teaser at the end of the last season makes me believe there might be other people like Chuya, right? But as of now, Chuya is the only person like himself. He is so unique. His personality is awesome. His powers are great. And although he's an antagonist, he's not a bad guy. I like Chuya, you know. I think he's a very dynamic antagonist because he is an antagonist, but he's not a bad guy at all. So I think having him in best is very fair. He's a fantastic antagonist. Next, we have Vicious. Vicious suffers from the story just not being long enough and him not being in the story long enough. He is a good villain. I'd put him above Sukuna, honestly, because he has all the characteristics to be in best, but he's really only in like max like 8 episodes. But every episode he's in is a banger. He is a great villain, but there's just not enough of him, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's why he's going to land at top of good. Next, we have Crocodile. Now, I personally like Crocodile, and I think, you know, him being a warlord and him losing early on wasn't a sign of him being a fraud like Arlong. He went against his only weakness, which was water, because he beat Luffy without the water. I think he's good, but I just put him just above Kisame, because it's another similar thing with Blackbeard. We haven't even seen the half of him yet. I mean, he is back in business, and he is strong as hell now, at least according to the bounty, right? And obviously who he's working with. I mean, Crocodile's story isn't halfway finished, but what we've seen of him, I think he's a pretty cool character. I like his personality and everything like that, and, you know, he's fairly strong. It's just he, unfortunately, had to go against some people that he just could not handle, so that's why he's going to have to be in good. Next, we have Dabi. I think Dabi's another character that gets a lot of hate. I would put him in good. I'd put him just above King, though. He's not like one of my favorite antagonists or anything, but to me, Dabi, I like his backstory. I know a lot of people don't, but I thought his backstory was pretty good. I like his powers. I like his whole connection with all the different heroes and stuff. His fights are all amazing and things like that. It's just the reason I don't really have him any higher is just because, I don't know, I don't want to say it's basic, but I feel like all the Dabi's story options are like going the easy route, if that makes sense. I don't know how to exactly explain it. I don't know. He's just not like really dynamic as a villain, if that makes sense. Next, we have Akaza. Now, I would have Akaza in worst until the movie. The movie made him a lot better, and I'm going to put him in mid. I'd put him just above Orochimaru. I think Akaza, for the majority of the story, even though he's only in like half of it, really is really lame. The movie, he's great because you get his backstory, and his backstory is phenomenal. It's honestly the only thing that saves him here because his fights aren't even really that cool. When he shows up, his personality is lame, everything like that. The only good part about him is his backstory, but his backstory is phenomenal, and it makes me not dislike him anymore. But he's not a phenomenal villain by any means because all he really has is a good backstory. Next, we have Diavolo, one of my favorites from JoJo's, and I would put him in best, but I wouldn't put him above Meruem. I could put him above Chuya and Aokiji, but I love Diavolo. Obviously, that counts Doppio too. I know a lot of people try to separate them, but they are the same person. But anyway, I love Diavolo. He is awesome. He's a great character. I think the way that he handles being a villain in JoJo's is very unique compared to the rest of them because a lot of them are just really evil. Diavolo, yes, he is evil, but I mean, he's really just in it for the money. I mean, let's be honest. You know, it's really the only reason, not the only reason, but that's like kind of the big reason he's doing a lot of this stuff, right? And then, like, even the evil deeds he does, he just doesn't want to ever be caught. He's just covering up his past. So I think he's awesome, man. Plus, I love Doppio, right? All the Diavolo's fights are amazing. The reason I don't have him higher is just because he's not as in-depth of a villain as some of the other ones. Like Diego, his reasoning for being a villain is so much better than Diavolo's, right? Like just the character work in Diego is just so much better than Diavolo. Like Diavolo's great character, all this and that or whatever, right? But he's not quite as human as some of the other villains. Next we have Doflamingo. I personally think he is the best in One Piece. I would put him, but I'd put him above Diavolo. The thing about Dofi is he's not really like, how do I explain this? He's not really anyone that has like, you know, super complex backstory, anything. He's not a super complex character, not super in-depth, but he's similar to Madara in the fact that he has so much to him. The only thing he is missing really is like that real reason, but sometimes being pure evil is just a good reason. He might be pure evil, but he's got everything else. He's got the aura, he's got the power, he's got the abilities, he's got the backstory. Like, he's got a lot there. I think he is by far the best villain in One Piece, but One Piece does struggle with antagonists sometimes, but Dofi definitely was not one. I think he was a massive hit. Next we have Zabuza. He's going to go in the best tier as well. I'm going to put him above Dofi actually, and my reasoning for this is Zabuza, he is the greatest first villain in any anime, right? Like, I don't think there's another villain where you're like, oh, you get to the first big fight is as good as Zabuza. Zabuza is just phenomenal. He is fantastic. Everything about him, like we talked about. The only thing is he's not really that like smart or manipulative, but he's got the power, he's got the aura, he's got the fights, he's got the backstory, he's got the character development. He's got all of that there. There's no complaints about Zabuza other than I would wish to see more of him, but he had to go. But he is the best first villain in any anime, in my opinion. Next we have Obito. Obito is going to go in best. I'm going to put him right behind Madara. I absolutely love Obito. Obito is one of my favorite characters of all time as well in anime, and he's basically just like a little worse version of Madara. Now, his backstory, his reasonings, all of that, powers and all that are way different from Madara's, but he handles it in his own way, which is awesome. Also, he's hilarious. His backstory is one of the best backstories in my opinion. I love his powers. I love his reasoning for doing everything. And even in the end, the character development, all that is amazing. Fights are great too. Obito is one of the best antagonists ever. Next, we have Stark, or Coyote from Bleach. Honestly, he's a pretty bad villain. I know I'm going to get hate for this, but all he does is just nonchalant max. That's really all he does. He doesn't ever want to fight. He loses pretty easily. His backstory's kind of shit if you ask me. He says he's the strongest, but he loses so easily. Now, I get he might have the power to be the strongest, but mentally he's arguably the weakest character in the show because he doesn't want to do anything. He's extremely lazy, and even when he's told to do something, he doesn't even do it. Like, he could have put up way more of a fight. In his fight, he did not. He does not care. He is lazy. He is weak. And yeah, you know, his personality is kind of funny, kind of cool, but he's so overhyped and does nothing. So he's a bad character. Next, we have Broly. Broly's one of the best in Dragon Ball, in my opinion. This is both Broly's. I'd put him just ahead of Chuya, I think. I think Broly is fantastic, and obviously the Dragon Ball Super Broly has a lot more of a character to him, but Broly is, again, one of those pure evil villains like Doflamingo. Sure, he might not be super in-depth, but he has the backstory, he has the fights, he has the power, and he has just the raw-out story element of, I'm gonna fuck you up, you can't do anything about it. So I think Broly is a great villain as well, one of the best in Dragon Ball, if not the best. Next we have Majin Buu. I'm going to be honest, Majin Buu is kind of mid. I would put him just above Kakazu. My thing about Majin Buu is that he has no personality. He has no depth. He has no backstory. This is just a ball of pure evil. But with the ball of pure evil, like Dofi, like Broly, they have a lot more to come with. Buu's fights aren't really that great. The whole story behind Buu's not really that great. His powers are kind of lame. He doesn't really feel as important as a villain as other characters do, especially in Dragon Ball. I thought Buu was cool, but he's just a big pink ball of evil. Yes, he was pretty strong, but even the way they took him out, I wasn't a big fan of. Buu Saga, you know, is probably the worst arc in Z for a reason. I don't think Buu's a very interesting villain in terms of writing and things like that. Now, I personally like Kid Buu, for example. I just don't really care for any of the other versions of Buu. Super Buu was cool, I guess, but Evil Buu, Fat Buu, and what was the other one? I don't remember. Not a big fan of, to be honest. The Absorb thing as well I thought was kind of lame. Yeah, just a lot of things with Majin Buu just aren't great. Next we have Garo. I'm going to put Garo in the best tier. I would put him just right above Broly. I think super in-depth villain from a show that has literally no depth in almost any of the characters. He carries his show by far, and I honestly think the manga wouldn't even have been as popular without him. Garo is a fantastic villain. Super well written, especially like I said, and maybe he looks a little more well written because everybody around him really isn't, but Garo's fantastic. Very phenomenal character. Next we have Stain. I think Stain is good. I'd put him just above Dabi. Like, his speech and everything was fantastic. His fight was cool and stuff like that. But again, not really in the story that much. He is somewhat impactful, but not one of the most impactful antagonists either. I feel like that's a fair spot for him. Next we have Jagal Take. I think that's how you say it. My opinions on God of High School after reading it have just been bad. Although as a villain, I'd put him in good. I think he's better than Dabi. Like, he's pretty cool. They mess up a lot of things story-wise around him, which is whatever. But in the anime, he's still pretty solid. He's got a lot of things to be a good villain. But like I said, they just messed up a lot about his character and a lot about the story that was happening in that season. So, yeah, I'm just going to put him in good. Next, we have Millennium Earl. I don't like this guy at all. He's not as bad as Big Mom, though. But to me, the Millennium Earl, I just find him incredibly boring. I don't really find his reasoning for doing stuff incredibly interesting. I think his design is really bad. I don't really think he's that creepy. I think his power is lame. I just don't really like anything about him. Now, that's all personal stuff. I don't think he's like terribly written or anything like that. I don't think he is objectively a necessarily bad villain. Just to me, I really dislike him. I don't really care for him at all. So I would get if you would have him in other spots, but that's for sure the reason I have him down that low. Next, we have Kimimaro, the coldest guy. The coldest fraud, I should say. I would put him in mid. I'd put him below Kakazu. Like, his powers are cool and stuff. His backstory is cool and everything. His reasoning for doing stuff was cool. But he low-key fucked everybody else just to get his way. And then just to lose to a guy who was drunk, right? So, yes, it was cool moments and things like that. But, yeah, I can't respect that. I'm not going to lie. He's a fraud. Next we have Phaeton. Phaeton's another character who gets overrated because he don't really do much. He has one cool fight, and his personality is kind of cool. I'd put him probably just above Kid Buu. I like Phaeton, and I think he has potential to be a great antagonist, but it's just potential right now. I think that's why a lot of people really like him, just because he has the potential to be great, because he's had an amazing fight. His powers seem cool. He has a cool personality from the little bit we've seen. But that's the thing. We've just seen a little bit, so I need to see more to really put him anywhere else. But he has potential to be a good antagonist. Next, we have Overhaul. I think Overhaul is the best villain, or the second best villain in My Hero. I would have him at the bottom, though. I don't think, for a show about heroes and villains, I don't think the My Hero villains are really that inspiring, I guess. Like, they're not really that great. But overall, I think he's a great one. I think he has the best fights. I think he has one of the best backstories out of all the villains. And I think he has a very unique power, which is really fun. And I think the whole storyline around him was very unique. Probably the most unique season in My Hero, which is why he is arguably my favorite. I don't know. There's one more we have on here that I will talk about that he's probably my favorite, being honest. But overall, it's close too. Next, we have Eneru. I actually really like Eneru, but I think he suffers from the same thing that Charon does, so I'm going to put him slightly above Charon just because I think he's funnier, and I think his powers are cooler. But, yeah, basically everything I said about Charon is going to be the same thing I say about Eneru. Next, we have Frieza. I think Frieza is good as well, but Frieza, to me, I don't know if I could put him in best. He has a lot of forms that are kind of pointless. He does a lot of things that are kind of annoying, and he's a good antagonist, but I don't know. I just wouldn't say I'm the biggest fan of him. I think I'd put him above Sukuna. He's good, but he lacks a lot of depth. He's not even really pure evil, but he just does evil things with really no reasoning at all. I think he lacks a lot of what it takes to be a not classic, because just classic means popular, but like being an all-time great villain. I think he's cool. He's very popular for a reason. Like, his powers are cool and everything. Well, all he is just really strong. Nothing else about him is really that interesting in my opinion, I'll be honest. Next, we have Funny Valentine. I mean, Funny Valentine is a fantastic antagonist. Now, that's why I called this antagonist, because Funny Valentine is not really a villain, in my opinion. Now, where would I put Funny Valentine? I'd put him is he better than Diego? No, I don't think so. I'll put him next to Diego. I think Funny Valentine is fantastic. He is great. He is the best main antagonist in JoJo's, because Diego's not the main antagonist. Funny Valentine is. But I hate when they label Funny Valentine as a villain. He's not really that bad of a guy, I'll be honest. He did one bad thing in the whole thing, and it wasn't even on purpose. So, yeah. Next, we have Gaara. I'm not going to rank him as an antagonist. He just was an antagonist at one point, so I'm going to rank him as a character. I think he's good. He just doesn't really do much after he stops being an antagonist, right? I'd put him above King, Dabi, Jagal, Stain, and that's about it. Like, I think Gaara's cool, but he just lacks a whole lot to be like again, all-time great antagonist. Next, we have Geto. I like Geto. I'd put him at the bottom of good. I think his powers are cool, or not cool. I don't like his powers, is what I was going to say, actually, but his character development and the way he is viewed in the story, I think, is pretty good. So that's why it's going to land him in good. But, yeah, he could go mid either as well. Like, he's kind of cool, but also kind of lame. So, yeah, but I like him a little bit, so I'll put him in good. Next, we have Gilgamesh. I mean, Gilgamesh is one of the biggest frauds in all of anime. He claims to be super strong. He claims to be the strongest and loses all the time. And, in fact, almost never wins. So, for Gilgamesh, I'm not the biggest fan of him either, because he literally is just all talk. And I haven't watched all of Fate, so I don't know if he has a backstory. But in the Fates I have seen, no backstory or anything, even though every other character gets a backstory other than Gilgamesh. I don't really get why people really like Gilgamesh that much. I'm going to put him in bad. I'll put him above Boros because he has cool fights. His aura ain't even real, because I would say he has aura, but it's so fraudulent. He's not even strong. Like, it's just because he has all the gold around him, it looks cool. But not a big fan of Gilgamesh. I don't really see why people like him that much, I'll be honest. Next, we have Grimmjow, the best villain in Bleach. But I honestly don't even think he's in best. I don't really care for the villains in Bleach, I'll be honest. I think they're heavily overrated. I think Grimmjow's awesome, though. I think he's better than Frieza, but I don't think he's better than Vicious. I think Grimmjow is great. I think his personality is great. I think his powers are great. And I think he is a good person for, you know, the main character Ichigo to fight, because he is on his level. I feel like Eizen is just way out of reach the entirety of the show. And they talk about the 2 steps ahead bullshit with Eizen. I don't really care for it, I'll be honest. I feel like it's just cope. I don't know, the 2 steps ahead thing just is so lame to me. Oh, I'm always 2 steps ahead of everybody, and then it's like shit still doesn't go his way. Like, I don't know, he's low-key a fraud as well, I'm not gonna lie. But Grimmjow, I feel like, is the most antagonizing antagonist in Bleach, because like, what the fuck does Aizen care about Ichigo for until like that final fight? Like, it's just so out of reach. I don't know, not a big fan of him, but we'll get to Aizen when we get to him, if he's on here. He should be on here. Yeah, he is. Alright, next we have Hidan. I think Hidan is good. I liked his fights. I liked his whole personality, backstory, everything like that. I'd put him ahead of Stain, ahead of Gaara. I'd just put him ahead of Gaara. Next we have Hisoka. I love Hisoka, honestly. I think he's going to go into best. I know people call him Diddy, whatever. He's a PDF file, whatever you want to call him. But I think he's a great written character. I think he's one of the best villains in Hunter x Hunter. And yeah, I'm gonna put him above Merylwyn. I like Hisoka a lot. I think he's great. Next we have Pito. Pito's kind of mid. I feel like she's mid, not by her choice though, because Gon is hyping her up to be something she's not. Like, yes, she killed Kite, bro. Whoop-de-doo. She, you know, other than that, she don't really do much else, but she gets hyped up by Gon. But she's not really bad per se. But I'd put her behind Janemba. I'm not the biggest fan of Pito. Next we have Igris. Igris is the same thing as Beru. I mean, Igris's design is better, but I mean, it's just a cool fight at the end of the day. Nothing else. There's nothing else to that character. Next we have Buggy. I mean, Buggy's an all-time GOAT. I fuck with Buggy heavily, but I'd put him just behind Garo. He's super funny, super not down to earth. He's super grounded, I guess is the right word. Antagonist, you know, he's an antagonist you can root for. There's a whole lot to say about Buggy. If you watched it, you know why I would have Buggy in best. Next we have Itachi. I mean, Itachi's a fantastically written antagonist. I would have him. I actually think I would have him there. I think that's perfect right there, just above Hisoka. I don't think he's quite as good as Toguro, but Itachi has some of the best moments in all of anime, some of the most iconic, some of the most inspirational moments in all of anime. Absolutely fantastic character. Pretty easily makes the best tier. Next we have Jalal. Honestly, the only really amazing character in Fairy Tail. He's going to go into best tier. Jalal is honestly amazing. I think the arc with Jalal, I'd probably put him there. Just behind Merylwyn. The arc with Jalal, the Tower of Heaven, is like one of the best arcs in all of anime because Jalal is such a good character. If Jalal is not in that, if you replace him with any other villain in Fairy Tail, that arc's not nearly as good, and it's not one of the best arcs in anime. Jalal is absolutely fantastic, one of the best antagonists ever. Next we have Jogo. I mean, honestly, I'm gonna put him in good. I'm gonna put him above Gato, not much higher. The thing about Jogo is like, all he does, like, he's one of the strongest people out there, and all he does is fight, like, one of the few people that are actually stronger than him. So I feel bad because he's trying, like, he's not a fraud. He's trying to prove he's the strongest, and then everybody he fights is, like, the only, like, 3 or 4 people that could actually beat him. So just poor guy. I really feel bad for him. Like, he tries. Like, he knows he's strong, but he's like, I gotta go up one more in the rankings. So he tries, and he gets whooped and whooped and whooped, which, like, I respect it though, because he's not crazy for fighting these guys, because anybody else he fights, he's just going to beat easily. I just feel bad for Jogo, man. So I'm going to put him in good. He's a good character. Next we have Kaguya. She's probably the worst antagonist ever in anything. She's absolutely awful. Naruto's my favorite show ever, but if you tell me, I'll never say Naruto's perfect because Kaguya's in it, and Kaguya's a terrible character. That whole part of the show was stupid. How do you let a guy who just got your power, who, you know, is obviously not used to it, he just received it, that being Madara, is able to take on the entire world by himself and win, and then you come and screw that over, you take your power back, this is your power by the way, and you lose to 5 people. Explain that one. You can't, because she sucks. She's a terrible character. Anyway, moving on. Next we have Kaido. I think Kaido is kind of mid. I'm not gonna lie. His personality sucks. His personality is, I strong, I win. That's all it is, bro. Now, we haven't seen all of him yet. I know we're gonna get more of his backstory later and stuff. We got him as a kid or whatever. I don't feel bad for him. I really don't. I don't really care. Honestly, I'm not a hater of Kaido or anything. I just think he's mid. Like, he just is strong. That's all he is. He's just good at 1v1, strong. Now, once we see more of him on Rox's crew, it could genuinely raise up for me. You know, I think that's heavy potential for sure, because he just doesn't have much of a personality. He's drunk the entire time, and it's just like, I'm a big, strong dragon, so I do what I want. That's pretty much all he is. Moving on, we have Cars. I think it's my least favorite of the main villains of JoJo's are the Pillarmen. Not a big fan of them, I will be honest. I don't think he's a bad character, but I do think he's mid. I don't really care for any of their powers. Their reasoning for doing what they want to do is cool, sure, but I don't really care for the vampire stuff and all that. So, yeah, I'm just going to put them in mid. I'm just not a big fan of their powers and the way they work, I guess. Next, you have Yoshikage Kira, one of the best antagonists in, I said Funny Valentine was, but Kira's great too. I'd put him right below Funny Valentine. Kira's absolutely phenomenal as well, and Kira saves Part 4. You know, I've said my things about Part 4 before, but Part 4, takes a massive leap once Kira gets introduced. He saves part 4 for sure. So, yeah, he's going to go in best. He's one of the best villains ever written. He's fantastic. Sorry, I'm getting a little less detailed on my explanations because I'm tired of talking, I'll be honest. But next we have Kizaru. I think he's one of the worst. He's not as bad as Big Mom, but I'd put him down there. Now, I've seen people, there are actual Kizaru fans, which does shock me, I will say. I have seen people defend him because I have called him bad before. Kizaru does nothing of his own fruition or whatever. Everything he does is in order. He is a bitch. He listens to whatever anybody tells him. Now, I'm sure we'll see a reason for that eventually, but as of now, I don't have it. I'm just assuming he's a bitch because I don't know any better, right? Like, we don't know anything about him. But then he just kills his best friend, starts crying. It's like, you chose to do that, buddy. You chose to do that. And you would think like, oh, I saw Kiji, he left, he's leading by example. You'd think if you didn't want to kill your best friend and do all this, you could have just done that. No, he might have another reason, like I said, but it hasn't been shown yet. So as of now, I think he's pretty bad because he's just a lapdog. That's all he is. Next we have Chrollo. I think Chrollo is fantastic. He's up there with Hisoka and Meruem, but we haven't seen enough of him. We haven't seen nearly half of what we're going to see of him. So for now, I'm just going to put him above Diavolo, because I know we're going to get a lot more. There's a lot more even in the manga right now that hasn't been animated that is going to show a lot more of Chrollo, but as of now, he is one of the best, but doesn't really do a whole lot, right, in terms of what he's actually going to do. Next, we have L. Again, this is Antagonists. He is an antagonist. Not a bad guy, though. L is a fantastic antagonist. Where would I put him? He's above Dofi, he's above Zabuza, above Jalal, he's above Meruem, above Hisoka, above Itachi, and that's probably where I would stop, is right there. Now, if you want L a little bit higher, I get that. L is phenomenal, but yeah, I don't know. He's a very unique character, very great mind, and things like that. I don't know. Some of these characters, man, like I said, I'm losing my voice here. I don't know. I'm not really don't really want to go into too much detail. Knives, I think Knives is good, a good villain, but he's one of those, again, it's just like, oh, he's just pure evil. He's not as good as Jagal. It's not as good as Dabi, but I'd put him above King and stuff. Knives is cool or whatever, but he's just another one of those pure evil ones. Next, we have Pain. Oh, Pain is a fantastic. He's going to go in best as well. As you can see, there's a lot of Naruto on the top. That's all I'm saying. It might be why it's, the best anime of all time. But anyway, that's besides the point. He's definitely better than Broly, Buggy, Garo, Diavolo, Chrollo, Dofi, Zabuza, Jalal. I don't think he's better than Meruem, though. I think he'll just go... Actually, I don't even think he's better than Jalal. But he's better than Zabuza, for sure. Pain, absolutely fantastic villain. There's so much to say about him. He fits a lot of the criterias. I just don't like many of his forms and stuff. And I think some of the way he uses his power isn't my favorite. But, I mean, he's a phenomenal villain. Next, we have Emperor Pilaf. He's not even a bad villain, honestly. I am going to have to put him in mid, though, because he really doesn't matter at all. But he's pretty funny. A lot of the episodes he's in are pretty good. I'd put him above Pito. I fuck with Pilaf, though. Next, we have King Bradley. I don't really care for King Bradley. I don't think he's that bad. I'd put him just above Cars, though. He's a lot more important to the story than Cars, but yeah, I'm not a big fan of many of the homunculi. The only one I'm really a fan of is Greed. Next, we have Poochie, and with Poochie, I think he's one of the best as well. I really like Poochie. He's obviously the only villain. Spoilers, so skip ahead a couple seconds if you don't want to hear this. He is the only villain that won. Now, many people argue, oh, he didn't win because he died or whatever, and the Joestars still exist. I'm still counting what he did as a win. I do not care. Anyway, Poochie. I think he's better than Diavolo. I think he's better than Chrollo. He's better than Dofi. He's better than Zabuza. And I'm going to leave him there. I think I'm just going to leave him right there. I like Poochie a lot. I think his power is really cool. Everything like that as well. So, yeah, I went over a lot of the things as to why I like him already, so let's move on. Next, we have Rob Lucci. Lucci, if he never re-challenged Luffy, would be a lot higher, but I think after he re-challenged him, he lost a lot of aura. He lost a lot of dignity. He lost a lot of respect. I think he's going to go in mid, I'll be honest. I'll put him above Kaido, though, but I'm not going to put him any higher. Now, before, if he didn't re-challenge him, he'd definitely be somewhere in the good tier, but after the rematch, and then Zoro done put the Spotify logo on his chest afterwards to make things worse. So, yeah, Lucci, he lost a lot of aura, notoriety, everything like that for me. Next we have Ryuga. Genuinely, bro, Ryuga is actually a fantastic villain. I don't think I could put him any higher, but I want to put him in best just because he is actually fantastic. If you watch Beyblade, you know he is. But a lot of people watched it as a kid, and so they just remember Ryuga being cool. If you rewatch it, which I have rewatched it relatively recently, he's got quite a lot of depth to him, actually. He's a pretty good character, unironically, in what is seemingly a kid show. He's pretty good. So yeah, I'd put him in the best tier. He's awesome. Scar, I love Scar. Actually, I'd also put him in the best tier. I don't think I'd just put him above Ryuga. I think he's great, but I think I don't know. I think Fullmetal is more carried by the good guys rather than the bad guys, if that makes sense. But most characters in Fullmetal are great, so no real complaints there. But yeah, Scar is phenomenal as well. Next we have Sasori. I like Sasori, and the fact he gave Sakura a win was pretty cool, but I think he's just good. I would put him behind Knives. I don't think he's as good as Knives, but he's got a cool little personality, cool power and stuff, cool backstory, everything like that. His relationship with other characters is good, so yeah, I'm going to put him in good. Next we have Sasuke. I mean, Sasuke is very good for a reason. I'd probably put him there just ahead of Diego. I think he's fantastic, obviously, as an antagonist, as a deuteragonist, everything like that. He's an amazing character. I love Sasuke. Honestly, I have no complaints. He's just not as good as the three ahead of him, so that's really my only thing. Not really an issue, but yeah. Next, we have Father, or the Dwarf in the Flask, whichever you want to call him. I think he's good. I'd put him above Hidan, but honestly, that's it. I don't think he's really all that interesting, to say the least. Like, his backstory is good. I get his reasoning behind doing it all, and his power is good and everything like that, but just nothing about him is really, like, extraordinary, in my opinion, so I'm just going to have him in good. Next, we have Senior Pink. I mean, he can go into best tier, but he's going to be at the bottom. I mean, he's a manly man. That's what I'll say, man. Deserved. Yujiro, he's funny, man. He's funny. I'll put him in good, but he's also the fucking ass-pull, man, so I prefer Jalal. He could go ahead of Dabi, though. He is the ass-pull, man. Yeah, he's cool, but yeah. Shinsui, or Sensui, however you say his name, I forgot. It's been a while. I think he's good. He's not as good as Toguro, but he's a good villain. I'd actually put him right there. It's perfect, like right behind Sukuna. Good villain, but he's a villain. I don't even know how to explain. He's just like not as good as Toguro. He's got the depth and everything. It's just not as good. Next we have Smoker. I like Smoker a lot. I think his power is cool. I think his character is cool. I think his story is cool. I think what he wants to do is cool. But he's not in it enough. I need more Smoker, man. Yeah, you go above Father. You go above Toji, Kisame, Crocodile, Rize. But I wouldn't put him any higher than that. Just above Rize. He's cool, but I need to see more of him. Like, I love Smoker. Smoker's awesome, man. Next we have Eizen. I think Eizen is going to be in good as well. I'd put him above Frieza. I think he's close to Grimmjow. But again, I think a lot of stuff with Eizen is just nerdy bullshit that I just am not a big fan of. I'm not a big fan of the two steps ahead shit, right? But I do think he is a very good villain. I just don't think he makes it in that top tier for me personally. I'm not the biggest fan of him, I'll be honest. I think a lot of the story also drags out because of this two steps ahead bullshit. So, yeah, I'm not really a big fan of that, at least anime-wise. Next we have Mercenary Tao. He's got good fights and stuff, or a farmer. I'll put him in mid. Oh, what's his name? I can't remember his name. He's from Trigun as well. He's a good character. Why can't I remember his name? It's been so long since I watched. He's good. He's better than Gato, better than Jogo, better than King, better than Sasori. He's better than Knives. I like him more than Knives. He's better than Dabi, better than Yujiro. I don't have him over Jalal, though, so he could go just above Yujiro. Next, we have Twice, best villain in My Hero. I love Twice. I'm just going to put him right above Overhaul, though, because they're really close. Twice is such a phenomenal villain. He's great. He's great. He's the best villain in My Hero, for sure. Moving on, we have Gio. I forgot to say his name. Maybe that's it? Gio? I don't remember. He's from Erased. He's a good little villain. There's nothing really too special about him, though. I mean, everything about him you can kind of read like a book, I'll be honest. It's not really that unique, I guess. It's pretty easy. But is he better than Stain? Yeah, I'd say so. Better than Gara? Honestly, no. I'd leave him there. He's a good little villain. Next, we have Johan. Johan's fantastic. I'm currently watching Monster, so I haven't seen a whole lot. But as of now, I would put Johan... I love Johan. Johan's a scary villain for real. I'd put him just behind Toguro. Now, it may move up. I'm literally only like 25 episodes in, so, you know, I haven't even seen the half of it, but just 25 episodes in, he is phenomenal. I see why he's regarded as one of the best, and I'm sure it's only going to go higher, but yeah, that's just from where I'm ranking him at right now. Now, people that, you know, missed this part, they're going to be confused why he's not higher, maybe, but yeah. Kirei, I think he's good. He's a whole lot better than Gilgamesh. I'll be honest. He's way better than Gilgamesh. He's better than King. He's better than Sorcery. He's better than Knives. But I wouldn't have him above Dabi. I like Kirei. I think he's cool, but honestly, Kirei being an antagonist just gets carried by the fact his counterpart is Kiritsugu, because Kiritsugu is the man, so whoever he's going against is going to be boosted a lot. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe. I am absolutely losing my voice right now. I'm starting to get a headache because I am just yapping a whole lot about antagonists. But I love antagonists. They're probably my favorite characters in most of fiction. So let me know who your favorite is down in the comments if you made it this far. I appreciate y'all. Hope you enjoyed. Peace.